Hello and welcome back to the Fern Computer Science YouTube channel. I'm your host Quincy Tennyson, and today we're going to be talking about we're going to be talking about the Python data structure known as a list. Now, what is a list? A list is a set of points of data organized in such a way that it makes it easy for you to understand and manipulate that data. Now, that might sound a little abstract, so let's talk a bit about what we've learned so far. We've talked about variables and data types, right? And we have things like message, hello world. So now we have this message of hello world stored in a variable called message. We also might have a fave number, set to, for example, 42. And now we know that those things are type string and type int. You're familiar with this now. However, let's say we have 1.5 million points of data. For example, we're getting readings from a digital thermometer in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, measuring ocean temperatures across the course of, perhaps a year or a couple months. Depending on the precision or the frequency that we're getting that data, we might have gigabytes of temperatures, all just series of temperatures changing very slightly over the course of a year. It would not make a lot of sense to have something like temperature on day X, hour X, minute X, right? Equals 42.0. That doesn't make any sense for us to have a million variables just like that. So instead, we might create a list called temperatures. And we would fill it with those temperatures. I'm just coming up with random numbers here. Okay, so that's our list syntax. We have a variable, temperatures, and we store a list into it, which is represented by these opening and closing brackets and the comma-separated values within. And then if we say type temperatures, we'll see that that's a list. We can just type in temperatures here and get I don't know why this is refusing to go away, great. So we get our list of temperatures. So that's how we organize this data, is with a list. Lists are one type of data structure. There are other types, but we're going to focus on this for now. And I'm also going to make a really strong effort to keep these videos closer to about 6 minutes. I was doing some reading and found that that's the most common length for maximum engagement. So I will do better about keeping my videos shorter and just get you what you need as quickly as possible. Separate it out a little more. That makes a lot of sense in all parts of life. I should know better. Should have started that way. That's okay. We all fail. Okay, another important part of lists is that they are iterable. What's iterable mean? It means you can step through them and do things with each piece of data. This is a really common theme in programming. We use something called a for loop to do this. Now, I'm not going to go in depth on how this works yet because it would take us a little longer than the time that we have. I just want to show you how it works. So we can say for temp in temperatures, print temp. And now we're going to print out every temperature. You could also say for temp in temperatures, 3 times temp. Let's just do something simple. Or let's x equals 3 times temp. Print x. And that would have, that should be the last temperature times 3. So 3 times 38.0. Yeah. So what you could do is have a variable. You can basically do a running total. Let me just show you real quick. So total temp equals 0. We have to have an external variable for this. Total temp. So for each temperature in temperatures, I'm going to say total temp is now equal to the current temperature plus whatever total temp was before. So it starts at 0, but then it adds those values as it goes. And then total temp is 133. That looks right. 42 plus 13 plus 40 plus 38. We'll check our math, and I'll try to do it correctly. 38. Great. 133. So we know that works. Awesome. Lists allow us to organize our data so we can understand it easier and iterate through it. The last thing that's neat about Python lists is we can actually have different types of data within a single list. This is somewhat unique to Python. For example, in Java, you would need to have if you were to create a regular vanilla array, another word for lists, You would have to create an array for ints, an array for strings, etc. But with Python, we can just say things is equal to, like, my favorite color is blue. I am 29 years old. I have 0 pets. No, I have 1 pet. We have a hamster named Cupcake. And yeah, so let's just, and then on average, I'm 98.6 degrees. I don't know. So then I say things, and I get this printout of a string, blue, number 29, or the int 29, the int 1, and then the float 98.6. One last key lesson I want to tell you about lists before we move on to our next video. This is very important. In programming, most often, we understand lists as a set of indexes. The index is the position of a value inside of our list. The key thing to know is that in almost all programming languages, lists and arrays start at index 0. I will type in now, so I want the element in index 0 of things. What do you think it'll be? It's blue. So we've got, watch my mouse here, I've got 0, I've got 1, I've got 2, 3, and we'll do a little drawing lesson on that in just a minute, or after this video. So that's lists. Go out there and experiment with lists. Use some things that interest you. Your favorite movies, for example. I can create a blank list just like this and fill it up with movies using the append method, which we'll also talk about. Favorite snacks. I don't know. Go out there and check it out. See what you can do with lists. Experiment with it. In the next video, we'll talk about list functions and other awesome stuff you can do with lists. Thanks for watching. See you next time.